Alright, what's up, you guys? Welcome to another Shark News Extra episode. As today we will be talking about the latest figure from Operation Monster Force Season 0 pre order, which is none other than the Phantom Command Unit 1 scale convention exclusive action figure, which is basically a really awesome, I suppose you want to call it, an like quote unquote army builder, because we've seen the character of Van Helsing before. Um, However, this one is called Commander Van Helsing, or it has an alternate head sculpt of Lieutenant Raven and a masked head sculpt. But this is where it gets really exciting. So if you haven't seen my previous Monster Force video where I talked about all the other exclusives, go ahead and do so. However, this one will dive a little bit deeper into the Phantom Command whatever, like Van Helsing, this character. So let's go ahead and take a look at this figure. This is from Big Bad Toy Store. The figure is up for pre-order, which will arrive on the first quarter of 2026 for $50. Now, for those collectors who have actually purchased their Monster Force figures, regardless whatever waves you like, I've been hearing nothing but extreme positive reviews for those figures, and everybody just seems to have a great attachment towards these figures, even if the time frame of having them released is a lot longer compared to other brands. But at least the quality and the designing of these figures makes up for the time that we are patiently waiting. So let's go ahead and take a look at this figure up close. We'll just briefly have an idea of what we can expect for this figure, because there's a lot more photography added to it. So I will keep the link in the description below for those who want to pre-order this figure. Like I said before, it's $50 first quarter of 2026. So here we have Commander Van Helsing. Pretty cool, man. I mean, this is one of those things where just the beret, the camo, the green outfits with the straps, and then the vest, the weapons, and I believe it's also using Gridiron Studio accessories and even weapons. That just makes it absolutely incredible. Now, if you haven't seen my other Monster Force videos where I will go over all different seasons that they call it, not waves but seasons, you will notice a lot of reuse of different parts here from different figures. But I will tell you that this is one of those things where you can literally create what supposedly is what is called here the Phantom Command Unit. So if you want to like slightly army build these figures, you can absolutely do so, because there's so many different head sculpts and accessories to add on to it. So of course, the standard green, nice browns, the heavy duty boots, the knee pads, the armors, the aesthetics, everything looks freaking awesome. Then we got this is basically the same character, same head sculpt, just you can add a character that wears a hat, and that looks really awesome. This is one of those things where I actually appreciate it, because depending on whatever head sculpt you prefer, I mean either option works, so it's all great in their own way. Then as we move down, this is probably my favorite head sculpt of the entire figure itself, is the character or the name that's called Lieutenant Raven. The reason why I like this is because if you're someone who doesn't want to double dip on names of even for like Van Helsing, at least you could use this character called Lieutenant Raven, which kind of gives it that whole Rambo vibes to it, because you got this guy with like a 5 o'clock shadow. He's got a camo headband or like bandana, and then he's got the cool wavy hair, and then obviously the body is all the same, but just that head sculpt looks absolutely incredible. So that's a great, I mean, if we look at it up close again, you can just see, and I love how they kind of give him like a bigger nose to give it a little more characteristics to it. So that's great, and you can see a lot more detail onto the actual figure, especially with the gauntlets and just the gloves, the detail, the molding and sculpting of it, and just all the accessories that it comes with looks absolutely incredible. And then, like I said before, if you want to continue to army build these, you also have this character that has the masked head sculpt. This one looks awesome, kind of gives it that G.I. Joe beachhead or Firefly vibes. So it really fits the whole aesthetic very well. So if you're someone who's in the fantasy world of wanting one character to really, have different head sculpts, then that's fine. However, the emphasis is really creating just different characters with different head sculpts to kind of give it, like I said, the command unit. So really adds a lot more bang for your buck, especially because even if all the outfits are the same, at least you can have different head sculpts to give it different rankings and different characters and different, just different world building, in my opinion, which makes it absolutely incredible. So even if we go to the actual render here, you can literally see how this character has even not just the 3 alternate head sculpts, which again looks absolutely incredible, but you also have one, two, three. You have 3 different headgears. So you have Van Helsing, without it. You can use Van Helsing without any headgear. You have the masked version. You have Lieutenant Raven. Then you have the hat, and then you have the beret, and then you also have the helmet, and then you can also incorporate like a slight face cover, and then you got all these different pouches and straps and holsters and weapons and knives and ammunitions and just everything about it, and like I guess binoculars and flashlights. um Everything just, it's absolutely amazing. I mean, the fact that you can use this at, like, it's an exclusive for sure, but and alternate hands, don't forget that. That's what gives it the really great credibility of, building a whole different roster for just these the Phantom unit. So I think that's really awesome. Other than that, just by again going, I will keep the link in the description below for those that are interested. But yeah, otherwise, I think this is really cool. I mean, it's like I said, it's $50, but it may be slightly steep. But for those who have bought this line of figures, have shared positive feedback. So let me know in the comments below what you think of this figure, and I'll be sure to talk to you all in the next episode because there's a lot more figures and waves to go over. So that is the Operation Monster Force Season 0 Phantom Command Unit Van Helsing figure.